Right. Welcome, and thank you for joining us in your lunch hour here as we're recapping the recent Team 22 event that Atlassian put on live in Las Vegas. It was great to get back out into the world again after 2 years or whatnot. So Atlassian had some interesting things to announce, as well as a few unexpected issues that going on behind the scenes. So we'll try and give you an overview um, of what happened. Do feel free to interrupt us with questions in the general chat. And with that, I think we can get started. So, first item on the agenda was actually a something that wasn't planned, um, which was an Atlassian incident that went on sort of in concert with Team 22. So, Frida, if you want to
Yeah,
pick this.
sure. Hi, everyone. So, as you may already heard, Atlassian has this cloud outage happening for several days at the beginning of the April. It was very unfortunate and it affected a lot of users. Here we called Atlassian CTO. He said, let me start by saying that this incident and our response time are not up to our standard, and I apologize on behalf of Atlassian. So as people know, at the beginning of the April, there are around 400 people, around 400 Atlassian cloud customers experienced a full outage across the Atlassian products. And it took them several days to restore the data. As of April 18th, all clients that has been affected by this outage, their data has been restored with minimal data loss. There are some communication gaps that happens. Basically, Atlassian went silent for a couple of days, so the end user does not really know what is happening, and it causes a lot of headaches and cause a lot of unhappy customers. And as you may know, this thing was caused by a faulty script, which was wrong executed, made with the wrong IDs. As far as we know, this incident is past, and Atlassian already released a incident report. If you want to know more about this incident, you can just go to their website and take a look. Another thing we want to quickly share with you is Atlassian released a Jira Security Advisory on April 20th, and there are several products that have been affected. Mainly is the Jira software server and the data centers, and also the Jira Service Management server and data center. If your current version is listed as affected, you can upgrade it to the latest version. For Jira and Jira software, that is 8.13 and 8.20. If it's Jira Service Management, you will need to upgrade to 4.13.18 or 4.20.6. If you haven't received any notifications for this security advisory, you can go to my.atlassian.com and email to adjust your notification preference and will be able to receive the future notifications. Here we listed some key information links. If you want to know more about the incident we just mentioned, there is a Q&A page on Atlassian community. The post-incident review is also published by Atlassian. For the security advisory, you can find the more details on their security advisory page.
No. And I've just posted these links to the chat group there, so you can follow them. The post-incident review in particular is a fascinating read, so I recommend it if you have time. All right, thank you, Frida. So that was an unfortunate sideshow during the team event, but the major things were some of the new products and features that they were talking about during the keynotes. Um, so one of the sort of key themes that they covered uh, was work differently together. This sort of aligns around the philosophy that there are a lot of different teams working in their own ways, but ultimately, those teams need products that sort of pull them together, and products and tools that pull them together. And one of the big things that they announced here was a tool called Atlas. Um, this has a number of different sort of functionalities. So it serves, as a bit of a people directory. I mean, you can see like who is involved with a particular project, what did they do, what teams are they on. It gives sort of a project, a sort of centralized space around which to bring people, goals, communication, so you can basically report on projects and be able to go here and get a sort of like high level view of how a project is going, and be able to get a sense of where it's at and what needs to happen. So the tool was formally announced, I believe, in 2021 in alpha as Team Central. They've renamed it as Atlas. It's now currently available in beta for free. So you can just, if you've got a cloud instance, you can hook it up free of charge. It's offering a sort of 10,000 foot view of the project. We had an opportunity to have an AMA with some of the Atlassian C staff, and they were talking about how much they depend upon this in order to view projects. So one of the goals that they talked about a lot during the presentation was how this sort of removes a need for lengthy status update meetings. The kinds where you've got one person sort of talking about a project while you've got 40 others sort of patiently listening and waiting for their turn to talk. So the goal of that is to eliminate, or at least minimize those meetings by just getting that information sort of flowing smoothly throughout the organization. To that end, it syncs up with Slack and Microsoft Teams. So each project would have its own individual homepage, giving the what, why, and success criteria for a given project. You can plug in smart links, videos, rich content throughout any of the updates. Updates are kind of intended to be, brief, quick, and sort of like tweet-like, 200 characters, a couple emojis, and that sort of thing. Just give you a high-level view of what's going. Another thing that's really nice is that it has fuzzy dates. So if you don't know exactly when things are delivered, I know that if somebody sees a delivery date of May the 10th, that is written in stone. And from further out, you may not know that. You may sort of say, well, it's going to be between May, June, sort of thing, and it allows you to add that. Users will get a sort of like a weekly personalized digest in like email or Slack or Teams, where it's sent to them, curated based off of their preferences, so they can see how their individual projects are doing and not get any of the other information that's out there. And one thing that I did check right now, it's not currently working with the advanced roadmaps hierarchy. That is on the roadmap. I was able to talk to the designer in charge of the project at the moment, and he did say that was forthcoming. So that's Atlassian Atlas in a nutshell. If you're on cloud and you're interested, just go to Atlassian.com software/Atlas. You can start using it right away, no cost to you. The other sort of theme that they commented on or highlighted was sort of autonomy and alignment, basically saying that the individual teams need to be autonomous. They don't need to be necessarily all grouped together, but they also need to be in alignment. And the other major project or major new product that they covered was Compass. Um, this is sort of explained or targeted as sort of mission control for distributed architecture. It's around getting, whereas the Atlas is more about projects. This is more about technology, and it's trying to take some of the guesswork out of ownership. So you know a component, you can see the details of that component, and know exactly who is responsible for that component, where to go to get help. There's lots of information. Or information is no longer scattered. It can all be sort of grouped. So you've got your documentation, your repositories, your run books, all in one convenient place if you want to know about this particular component. Um, Another really cool feature that they have are scorecards. So this can grab a bunch of different data from different places and sort of try to understand and improve component health. So you can sort of get a sense as to whether that component is ready, is production ready, or if it has areas that need work. So this sort of shows that you can have all these sort of like setup metrics as to whether it's got a certain amount of unit coverage, whether the the previous automated test cycle has completed successfully, and it will give you an overall ranking of that particular component. So while this is still currently in alpha, it is free to try, and it connects to a variety of third-party and Atlassian tools in a single place. So it really is mission control hub for dev tools. What else? Yeah, I think that covers it. Okay, so some of the other things that they talked about during the keynotes. So with Jira Software, they are adding smart links to embed rich content. Again, this should be adding like videos and other images from other sources directly into your Jira tickets. So if um, there's a bug, you don't have to necessarily like embed um, an attachment with a video or something like that. You can link to a different system. And just to get that rich content in faster. They're working very heavily on quicker access to sprint reports from the sprint review. Some of that will actually be on available on a sidebar, I believe, so you can see, the burn down of a sprint in the same screen where you're looking at the issues that are that a team is working on. They're also adding in designs as a kind of an object that can be attached to various tickets. And these designs don't necessarily need to exist within Jira. They can go to external sources like Figma and pull that in and get everybody sort of understanding what the design for the project is at the moment. Jira Work Management, which has been around for a little while. This is sort of a series of templates designed for non-software development. So for teams like HR and finance and legal and marketing and design and sales, you've got these sort of templates where people can go and work collaboratively. Like you'll be able to view who is online, who is editing a particular set of tasks or whatnot. There's a lot of different views that are not the usual Scrum and Kanban. There's like lists and calendars and things like that. So it's designed to help those non-software development teams in your organization, work together. And it's included free with a Jira Cloud software license. So if you've already got that, you have access to it as long as your license count is sufficient. Jira Service Management, they are adding a new risk assessment engine for deployments. They're also adding in Insight, which can flag which deployment impacts code with an ongoing incident. So there's sort of like a straight line from an incident that you're working on, responding to the code that's getting deployed there. They include a change calendar so that can all be tracked within Jira, as you can see all the different changes that are going on in your ecosystem. As well as sort of like a form builder if Jira Service Management is externally focused, or even if it's internally focused, you can create these forms. So if you easily have like or handling certain requests, like just getting like a new individual, if there's a new hire, HR can easily create a form where they plug in all the information, and then that can go away and sort of automatically trigger certain actions within other teams to set up permissions or to order a new laptop or that sort of thing there. And they've recently acquired a company called Percept AI, which they hope to improve on the automation associated with that. And lastly, for Confluence, Trello, a few other bits and pieces here. Confluence is going to allow, they're adding in the feature to create charts from a table automatically. So there's no more needing to like build it all in Excel and then import it and then hope that it all sort of works. It can all be done natively, which is very exciting. They're adding a traffic feed, which can list out popular or trending pages. Some of that can be helpful if if people want to. I know there's certain areas that even though within Confluence that even though it's vital for everybody to sort of know where it is, I get a lot of asks as to whether or not. Where this particular page is. So being able to see sort of popular and trending is helpful. They're going to have a presenter mode on pages, which is really cool. I know a lot of meetings we're looking at Confluence pages, and the presenter mode will sort of help with that. Sort of in the in the Zoom world that we live in, I know that's more than ever going to be a useful thing. Embedding rich content, that seems to be a theme across the board. And they are getting some automation schemes set up with Confluence there. For Trello, they are adding drag and drop on calendar to be able to change due dates in real time. So that's helpful. And smart links for embedding rich content. And some additional Slack integration where you can create a new card directly from Slack. A few other things. They're building a single centralized homepage to search all cloud products. I think the upper limit for cloud instances is going up to 50K users per instance. Um, and they announced Atlassian Data Lake and an analytics, which are being able to pull basically any piece of information out of that and perform analysis on it. Although this is only available in early access for enterprise, so you have to be running a pretty large instance before that's accessible to you at the present time. So that's sort of 2 days of keynotes in about 15 minutes. So if there's any questions, feel free to just type them into the chat, and I shall do my best to answer them. Otherwise, we can carry on to some of the breakout sessions. So there seemed to be there was a decent amount of different sessions there that we were able to attend. A lot of focus, as to be expected, on cloud migrations. That is still a heavy focus for organizations that are still running on server. We have still got a little bit of time. February 2024 is sort of the cutoff date for end of life for server. So if you have not done so, you need to be planning out your migration path to cloud or data center. All right. So some of the stuff that was covered in these, if you're familiar, you'll be recognizing this, but it's reassuring to hear from other organizations that have gone through this process and have come out the other end, in good shape. So you really want to assess and build your case for migration internally. I mean, there's one thing, it's one thing that this is ending, but there may be additional costs, and certainly costs in terms of migration that you need to be socializing within your organizations and getting ready there. Defining what success looks like. This was a big thing that other teams covered. Engage with a variety of users early and often. Emphasize the value in cloud for your business and for your end users. Assess your apps. There's a self-assessment that is available with the migration tool, which helps a lot. If you've got a lot of apps, that adds a lot of complexity. And to mitigate complexity, it's strongly recommended that you go out and hire a partner. I mean, your organization is only going to do this once. It doesn't make a lot of sense to build up knowledge when there are organizations out there that do multiple migrations a week, or certainly help other organizations do that. So the process to get to cloud is a whole lot of testing, making sure that all your content is going to go smoothly. You want to test out try migrating before the big day, and keep going afterwards. So there's a lot of information out there if you're still in this set of circumstances. So Atlassian Cloud Migration Toolkits are an excellent start. Atlassian University has a number of information pieces on this, and there are partner webinars out there that you can find and use. So yeah, and so Splunk gave a presentation about Atlassian Cloud here. They sort of outlined 4 pillars of success, which were primarily around user management, Jira, Confluence, and individual apps. And but they successfully migrated over 11,000 users to Atlassian Cloud. So if they can handle that amount of users, then certainly a smaller instances make things easier. So another thing that's sort of related to cloud that was an interesting breakout session was this one about purging stale data from Jira Software and Confluence. Before you migrate, you really want to go through this process of clearing out unneeded data. And what they would do is basically go through their server data center instances, sort of assess their data footprint, what sort of information doesn't need to be there. They would start shutting down unneeded data long before the actual migration, just basically sort of warning people in 2 weeks notice that these projects are going to be archived, and shut them down. See who complains after 2 weeks, because it can be spun back up easily enough without impact. Whereas if you leave it behind after you've done your cloud migration, it's a lot trickier. And using scripts and endpoints to automate the process. But one of the things they highlighted was really you want to delete as much as reasonably possible. There's any instance that's been around for any prolonged period of time is going to gather up a lot of sort of cruft, and you don't want to be carrying that on to your Jira instance. So I think that's sort of in a nutshell everything that we wanted to cover from Team'22. There was lots more, obviously. I mean, there was plenty of vendor booths and other breakout sessions that we weren't able to attend. Some of that's online, and if you have opportunity to check it out, I do recommend that you do that. But if there are no other questions, we wanted to pivot a little bit more to talk a bit about the Vancouver sort of state of the community. I mean, we appreciate you guys spending your lunch hour with us. It's been a bit of a struggle over the pandemic to sort of keep engagement within the community. But as we're clearing through that, we've got some thoughts and plans for the future. And so I'll hand it back to Frida once again.
Thank you. So, as people may know, that since the beginning of the pandemic, we have been mostly virtual with our community events. We have invited some great guests to speak, and we also have Brandon and Erica to present based on their knowledge. We want to growing our community, and we want to provide better content and also some networking opportunities to everyone. In order to do that, we will need your help. We have created a survey and we will send out after this event. Basically, we want to have your opinion on how often we should host our events and when is the best time and type of event you want to attend. In addition to that, we have several events that is planned in the near future. The first one is a cross-country Atlassian virtual event around the Canada Day. We try to team up with our other community leaders in Winnipeg, in Toronto, and also in Quebec to have a virtual event around June 29th to celebrate the Canada Day. And we try to host in-person event around the mid-September. as long as like the policy and weather permitted. We also just like we mentioned that we want to have your feedback, and if you want to be participate in a rough draw, there is a section in our survey that can let you enter either your email address or your LinkedIn profile URL so we can contact you. All right. And also, for all the upcoming event, you can find it at ace.atlassian.com. There is an event calendar, which is very great.
All right. Okay, so that's everything that we had to cover today. I don't know if there's any other questions. So we'll be emailing out that that survey that Frida mentioned to basically everybody that's signed up to the Vancouver community. You know, I appreciate that people get surveys all the time, but if you can take just a few minutes to fill it out, you know, that'll help us better inform how to serve the local community. I mean, Vancouver is a big tech sector. There are no doubt lots of people using Atlassian tools to try and help their teams become more efficient. And, you know, we want to make sure that I know that, you know, personally, I don't have all the answers for my teams for all the Atlassian tools, and having that community to lean on and get answers and get ideas really can help. So we want to try as we come out of the pandemic, sort of revitalize the community, get more people involved, and start meeting people in person again. So we're looking forward to that for sure. And when can we get a copy of the presentation? So after after we're done, we will post it to post the recording to YouTube, and maybe we can make the slide deck publicly available to everybody that attended here. So if you want to follow any of the links or anything like that. All right. Well, if there's no other questions in the general chat, thank you very much for spending your lunch hour with us, and look for especially for that Cross Canada event. I hope that's going to be exciting to team up with some people there. All right. Thank you.